Hi, welcome back. So in this particular video, it's part of kind of a three-part video series, we're going to talk about the show, kind of how to establish the pitch as a form of theatrical entertainment. Okay? Again, I look at pitch as the opportunity for you to shine, but it's an opportunity for your audience to kind of learn and hopefully be entertained along the way. And so the first video in this kind of the show series is establishing the setting, or what you might call establishing a stage. Okay? And I use stage metaphorically. Think about when you go to like a Shakespeare theater, right? You see a stage in front of you. And what's on that stage? Well, there might be props, trees. I've seen some, I know when I was a kid I used to do The Tempest, and I was Prospero, and I would wave my hands in the air. One of the stage guys would kind of blow out this fake smoke, and he had, we had like sounds of thunder and lightning, and crazy Wagner music playing in the background. Yes, I know Wagner came way after Shakespeare, but that's the way the guy wanted to do it. Okay. The point is, these are all things that are designed for the audience to kind of help feel like they're there. Okay? And if you don't like the theater metaphor, think of a book, right? And a lot of books have some chapters that just kind of tell you what was going on before the main events in the book, right? So that you kind of feel like you've oriented yourself in the setting of the book, or the plot, rather. Or think about movies, right? I was watching a Star Wars movie the other day, and they had kind of like this rolling text that went up in the beginning of the movie, and it was just explaining all the stuff that had happened in the other Star Wars movies. So when you watched it, you knew kind of what had happened before that, that Star Wars movie starts, and it gave you some indication of what might be happening afterwards, right? And so you're probably asking yourself, okay, I got the stage piece, but how do you do that in terms of establishing a stage during a business pitch? Well, you can do it through props. A lot of people like to bring props with them. I had one person a couple years ago that was a beekeeper, and what did he do? He actually brought some drones, which don't have stingers, and he put little pieces of honey on his hands and had the drones crawling on him and eating the honey. And that showed that as a beekeeper, he was somebody very comfortable with handling bees, and it gave kind of a sense of ease to the audience. Well, not initially, right? He took live bees out, but once they saw these were drones and they were eating the honey harmlessly off his hand, that kind of put them at ease, right? This is kind of the beekeeper's environment, having bees crawl all over you. That worked for him. Okay, he set the stage. You can also do it through bringing prototypes of what you're doing. I can think of, well, it wasn't the most successful pitch, but there was a guy that had, those solar sunflowers. They're not real sunflowers, but it's got solar panels on it, and they kind of follow the sun. It's kind of a way to have solar panels in a direct, decorative way. But this was an engineering student, and he had designed a solar giraffe. And it was a giraffe that had a neck that would swing around and follow the sun too. And he brought his solar giraffe so that the people watching could actually kind of figure out what he was doing. Other approaches that I've seen, some people will bring handouts. You need to check the rules of your particular pitch competition to see if that's allowed. Some will allow you to use PowerPoints and slides to set the stage. Others won't. Some will allow you to use handouts, others won't. So you need to check the actual rules of your competition. Let's say you're designing an app, right? This is one I think you need to be careful on, though. I've seen people that give a pitch because they've designed an app or a website or a video program or something like that, and they put the stuff up on the screen, and the problem is people focus too much on the screen and they're not focusing on the entrepreneur. And that's really bad because most people don't invest in products, they invest in the people. So if you're all about the product, that's probably not a good thing. They're going to be focused on the screen, okay? The other thing is, I notice when people put apps up on a screen, they focus too much on like all the bells and whistles of the app and not enough on why this is something that judges would be interested in. So I advise you to instead just, even if you have an app, maybe show some pictures on like some slide decks or something, much simpler, even just give them some handouts. Or just explain what the app does, and if they're interested, then you can show them more about the functionality of the app in a later pitch or at a private meeting at some other time. Okay. If you don't have something, if you're doing like a service and you don't have drones to crawl all over your hands, or you don't have a solar giraffe and you don't have an app design, you can do this rhetorically, and you set the stage. You say something like, "Don't you hate it when?" Or "All my life I've been frustrated by." Okay. "You know what, you'll never guess what happened to me the other day." Okay? You've grabbed people's attention in kind of a theatrical way, and then you explain what you're going to fill it in with whatever your solution to whatever problem is. So you can also establish a stage rhetorically. Either way, though, you need to set that background. You need to help kind of draw your audience into what you're doing. And that's why the stage is very, very important. Great. So in our next video, we're going to talk about how to establish your character. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions. I'll see you then.